Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Go To Podcast with me, your host, Anthony DiDomenico, coming to you each week. You can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever podcasts are found. We're also on YouTube. That's where the video is. Go over to youtube.com/ at the Go To Pod. Click subscribe, watch the videos, like the videos. We're only 19 subscribers away from one of the requirements I have to meet to get modified. Is that it? Modified? Is that how you say it? Modified? Moneyfied? I don't know. Make some money on YouTube. That's what we're trying to do. So definitely please go and check that out and subscribe if you haven't already. We're having a good time over there. Plus, I'm gonna make some more videos and stuff like that. I got some things in the works. Not going to talk about them tonight, but we're trying to make things happen. So when they do happen, we'll talk about it. That's how we're going to do that. I just got done here with a little steak night. That's right. It was Monday night steak night at La Casa Manchild here in Wantagh, New York. I just got like a simple 10-ounce ribeye, and you don't have to do a lot to a steak. That's one of the great things about steak. It's very simple: salt, pepper, garlic. That's all I season my steak with. Salt, pepper, garlic, and then I have an air fryer that I cook it in because I got it like that. And it's just very simple. I did for the 10-ounce, I did 3.5 minutes and just about another 3 minutes on the other side, and it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. You don't got to do a lot to a steak. Some people overdo it. First of all, a steak should never be cooked more than medium rare. I'm gonna die on that hill. You lose so much flavor the more well done it gets. I don't understand how people eat steaks well done. I don't understand it. Mine, if you go to my Instagram page, the Go To Anthony D, you'll see mine was cooked to perfection, absolute perfection. And steak doesn't need sauces. It doesn't need people put ketchup on steak or A1 sauce. No, you don't need that at all. Just salt, pepper, garlic, nice little rub, little olive oil. Put the salt, pepper, garlic on it. Let it sit for a little bit, and you cook it. Absolute perfection. And I had with it, I cooked up some potatoes and broccoli. Cut up some can't speak tonight. Cut up some baby potatoes, and I cooked it with some broccoli. Delicious. 3 simple ingredients. It was meat, potato, and a vegetable. 3 simple ingredients. And one of the best dinners I've had in a while. I like cooking myself a little bit of steak. Sometimes when you live alone like myself, it's easy just to grab something on the go and you know um lose sight of cooking every night. But I enjoy it, and I'm trying to do more of it. And steak is just fun to cook. I don't care. It's awesome to eat. It's fun to cook. I get nervous every time I cook steak because I want to get my my what do you call it, right, the temperatures and everything. And I eyeball it. I just, I get a feel for it. You got to have a feel for the temperature. And I've been pretty good so far. I was a little nervous because this is the first time I cooked a ribeye in a long time. Usually I do New York strip. It's a little thicker, so my 4 minutes, 3 minutes works perfect. This is a little thinner, and I knew it was going to cook a little faster. So, but I got it perfect, absolutely perfect. I'm very happy with that. It's nice when you have a good dinner and I watched a little TV, and I came in here and did the podcast, or doing the podcast. I also started drinking electrolytes, like adding electrolytes to my water once a day. I got this hydration. It's called Ultima. I don't know if anybody's had it before. I got it at Target. It's like a packet of 8. It's like $8. And what I like about this, it's only 55 grams of sodium. I've seen these electrolyte packs that have like 1,000 grams of sodium, and I'm like, I'm not drinking myself down. I'm not trying to add 1,000 grams of sodium. I understand if you're maybe exercising or you're out walking or running miles, you lose a lot of sodium. But this is just me, just trying to stay a little more hydrated during the day, trying to get some water in. As I get older, for some reason I drink a lot of water, but I used to drink a lot more. And I'm just trying to stay hydrated, because it helps everything. But definitely keeping the sodium down. I got a mixed berry one. It wasn't overpowering. I put it in my Nalgene. I have a 32-ounce Nalgene water bottle. So it really was diluted, just a nice subtle flavor. I'm sure the less water you use, the stronger the flavor is. Um, yeah, so we'll see how it goes. See how hydrated I feel going forward. I also got this is talking about a throwback and used to be a go-to. I was on Amazon last night just getting some stuff for work. Because at work, I like to have my coffee. Yeah, I run out of my coffee stuff. I like to have it at my desk. I make my coffee in the morning when I go in. So I was ordering some of that stuff to send to work. And I don't know why. I just was like, maybe I have like if I get like a sweet craving. And I thought of Smart Sweets. I used to eat these Smart Sweets all the time back in the Dub Dub days. And all my OG Dub Dubbers that listen to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Smart Sweets, the Swedish Fish, Peach Rings, and they have like other ones now, like Sour Patch Babies. And I think I got the wrong one because most of the ones I got were sour ones, and I don't think I'm gonna like them. But I had the Swedish Fish today, and it was like a throwback to my go-to, you know, snack was those Smart Sweets. I absolutely love those things. My nephews used to eat them. They used to come down and get the gummies. They called them gummies. They thought they were just fruit snacks. And what's great about them is they're low in sugar, low in fat, high in fiber. So it's good all around, you know. But I remember these things back in the day. Your favorite WW ambassador would have a code to get like 10% off. They would hawk that on their stories. Oh man, those old WW Instagram days. Those are fun, man. I miss those days. Until we took away the ambassador program, everybody went away forever. Now they're all doing their own thing. But I remember back in the people hawking products. They were hawking beef jerky. There was Premier Protein. Those brownies. I forget what they were called. But there was there were brownies or something that were like $90 a box, and you could save $2 if you put your WW ambassador's initials in them or something. I don't know. They were good brownies, but I don't know. They're very all the stuff was very expensive. This Smart Sweets weren't that bad. I forgot what I paid for it. And I have Amazon Prime, so I ordered it yesterday and they dropped it off today. Very nice. Good old Smart Sweets. I used to hawk the Built Bar, so I listen. I was guilty myself. I just wasn't an ambassador, but um, and now people are still doing it with different products and stuff. It's funny, the same people that were pushing the Dub Dub products, they're pushing something else now. Listen, make that money, get it. It's what it's all about. I wish somebody would pay me to talk about products. I just talk about stuff on here that I like. I don't want you to try it. I want give it a go. Give it a go to podcast. That's how we do it. Um, oh man, yeah. So I didn't watch any movies this week. I wanted to get a movie in. Um, there's this movie I'm dying to watch. I forget what it's called, but it's like this guy like voicemails or something. My brother saw it and he said it's like a tearjerker. It's a nice rom com. So it's on Netflix. So I definitely got to check that out. But I continue. I'm still watching Oz. I'm in season 4. I think there's like 2 more seasons left after this. But I binge watched this weekend season 3 of Tires with Shane Gillis. This show is absolutely hilarious. Really, this is my go-to everything of the week is season 3 of Tires. If you haven't seen it, just go back and watch it from season 1. This is, I would say, one of the funniest shows on TV, if not the funniest show on TV. Just the writing is so funny. The characters are great. I mean, Shane Gillis is absolutely hilarious. So I think anything he's a part of, it's got to be good. But this is like a show that actually doesn't, it's not worried about being PC. It's not worried about, offending anybody. It's just there to make you laugh, which is what this stuff is supposed to do. It's what comedy's supposed to do. We were talking about that Saturday at the Lounge about how comedy is just, you can't pick it apart. Like a joke is a joke. If you're offended by it, okay, turn it off. Don't listen to it. It's not meant for you. But anything, you can make fun of anything. Anything's open. Anything's fair game. And if you tell me no, I could probably find a joke that you would laugh at about that subject. And, the better the comedian, the better the writer, the more they can go into that uncomfortable place. But I remember, like, growing up, just things were funny. You watch a show, was, they didn't worry about being PCs, want to make you laugh. And I get it. You don't want to offend people. I understand. But not everybody has to watch it. You don't have to. It's not mandatory. And and they make fun of themselves in the show too. And that's funny too. But we've gotten to a place in this world where we can't make jokes, we can't do this. Everything's got to be PC and blah blah blah. And I don't like it. I'm a '90s kid. I think it was, I guess I've said many times, the best time to grow up. Things weren't so people had a sense of humor. They like to laugh, and not everything was taken so seriously. Hey, listen, maybe I don't take things serious enough, but I'd rather be that way than like tiptoeing around everything and worried to say anything. If I'm joking around or if I'm talking to my friends or I'm on stage telling a joke. So anyway, that whole Mr. Goss, check out Tires, season 3 on Netflix, and I like that they release the whole season. I hate now like they got us first of all during the whole pandemic. They got us addicted to binge watching things. Things are just release. Here it is. Here's every episode this season, and now they're taking that away. Like with Love Is Blind, you woke up one day there was what 15 episodes. You watch from start to finish. Now they release like 2 at a time, three at a time, 4 at a time. And it's like, I don't need a cliffhanger for this. I know what's going to happen. No one's getting married. No one's staying together. It's going to be a train wreck, but let me see it in one weekend. Let me be up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday seeing who gets left at the altar. That's why Tires released the whole season. Thank you. I don't like this one a week, or I don't like this, couple here, couple there. You started this, Netflix. You got us accustomed to this. I used to watch TV shows. I had to know back in the day. It was okay, 8 o'clock. This is on. I make sure my TV's on. And I never missed an episode. I think back to like watching shows like all these different shows on like MTV and HBO, The Real World, and this and that. I never missed an episode. I just knew when to turn the TV on. 90210. I watched the whole first run from 6th grade to when I was 21. I knew Wednesdays, 9 o'clock. And it went to 8 o'clock. Party of Five was on at 9 o'clock. Well, first Melrose Place, then Party of Five. So, I mean, yeah, you just knew. And now I think we got spoiled. Rather than the DVR came, that was great. You can DVR whatever you want. And now the streaming is awesome too, but you have to give us the product. I think that should be a rule. If you're gonna put shows on Netflix and any other streaming service, we get everything at once. Because nowadays with social media, if you wait a week to watch something, they've already bombarded fucking Instagram with every goddamn spoiler. So it's ruined. Like I like watching wrestling. I'm a wrestling fan. So it's on Netflix tonight, Monday Night Raw. I enjoy going back and watching it and going through it without the commercials. I like to fast forward through the commercials or skip to the commercial or skip to a segment I don't want to see. But they ruin it because it's all on Instagram already as it's happening. I go, don't look at Instagram. Okay, you don't look at Instagram. You just do it. And there it is. And then it's ruined and you go watch it again. It's like, oh, I saw it already. I don't think spoilers should be allowed at all on social media. I'm sorry. If I ever run for president, that's what I'm running on. The two big topics, my two big running points if I run for president will be that if you release a show on a streaming platform, you have to release every episode of that season at one time so people can binge watch it. And then my second is you cannot put spoilers out until I'm going to say 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a good amount of time. You haven't watched it in 3 weeks, you're not going to watch it. There it is. That's what I'm running on, my platform. Talk about we're talking about awesome shows and movies and things like that. I saw yesterday was the 37th anniversary of Uncle Buck, a movie that is near and dear to my heart. The legendary John Candy partnering with the legendary John Hughes to make an amazing movie. I kind of relate a lot to Uncle Buck, being the older brother, the single uncle, doesn't quite have his life together. Brother with the kid, younger brother with the kids and the family and the house and everything. I relate a lot to Uncle Buck. But Uncle Buck's he's a good dude. He's a good uncle, same as me. So it's crazy that movie's 37 years old. Still stands up today. John Candy, one of his legendary performances. There's so many quotable lines from that movie. I like the get in your mouse and get out of here. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I like when he yells at Carmela Soprano's mother, the principal. That's who that is. It's the same actress that played Carmela Soprano's mother, and also Karen Hill's mother in Goodfellas. Look at her racking up the good roles. That's crazy. 37 years. Holy shit. I was 10 years old when that came out. And who would have known that that'd be my future? A single uncle. And I actually have, I'll show people on YouTube, my Uncle Cheese tattoo. And Uncle Cheese is actually written in the same lettering as Uncle Buck. My tattoo artist did that. I didn't know. I know I wanted to get Uncle Cheese and with the kids' names, but I didn't know how I want it written. And my tattoo artist, Craig at not Lone, I'm sorry, Craig at Space Ace Tattoo in Belmore, he he came up with that. Well, he's a genius. So if you're in Belmore, you're looking for a tattoo, go check out Craig at Space Ace. Does an awesome job. No coffees this week. I haven't really done any F your pumpkin spice or fuck your pumpkin spice. I think next week everything's getting released. So we'll definitely do some counteractions there. I wasn't really I was just drinking DCs at night with my cigars. So I really didn't have any coffees. And even this weekend, like I went to my brother's Sunday and I grabbed a DC on the way. I didn't really feel like a coffee. And it's so yeah, none of that. My brother had a feast at the house yesterday. Oh my god. You walk to my brother's house and there's random days and you don't know what, and there's food just everywhere. I get there, my sister-in-law's walking out with hamburgers, hot dogs, cheddar wurst on, like, she cut it up and put like toothpicks in it, like little hors d'oeuvres. Um, there was like pretzels with onion dip. Then there was they made a pizza. My brother had leftover skirt steak, so he made a pizza, like a Philly cheesesteak pizza with Alfredo sauce. It was delicious. Oh my god, walking into this. And they made, I don't like it, but they made pasta with clams and macaroni and clams. It was just, the food was just unbelievable. There was street corn from Fat Boy's Burrito. One of his friends brought over. I didn't think it was gonna be like that. Yes, I just went to go say hello, hi to everybody. Also, I walk in, he's got people over. There's food everywhere. It's like my niece Lydia had a friend over, and her friend goes to Lydia. She goes, "Why are all these people here?" And Lydia's like, "It's a pool party." And that's how it is. And that's great too. That I don't know, like if it was a planned thing or not, but like people do people do show up to my brother's house, um, pop in and say hello. That's how it should be. It's like the hub, and that's how my house was growing up. My house. My parents. We would either sit outside on the stoop, or people come over like for coffee and this and that. We won't do that enough. And we're face to faces. Everything's over the phone. I remember you'd be sitting at home and all of a sudden the door knocks. And you have company. Sebastian Maniscalco does a great bit about that, where he's talking about, like, in the old days, we were like, "Hey, come on in." Yeah. And then, like, all of a sudden now it's like, the doorbell rings, everybody hits the floor. They're like doing, like, the Navy SEAL signs. They're crawling across the floor. I listen, I don't like Poppins, and when first of all, I don't have I have a small apartment, so it's not good for entertaining. But like, even when I had a bigger apartment, I don't like Poppins. Even when I was young, even my house was the house people just popped into. I didn't like when my friends just showed up out of nowhere, especially during Yankee games. So I get why people don't like it and don't do it, but it's nice. My brother's house is always a good time. They're very welcoming and always have a good time there. So it's nice to have that. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna drop my camera here. Hold on. Couldn't get to almost got to the podcast without any incident, but if you're listening, you're like, "What is he doing?" I'm like, the camera almost fell over. One time we'll get through a podcast with no problems and no issues and nothing. But until then, I want to thank everybody for joining me here on episode 21 of the Go-To Podcast. Can't believe 21 episodes. Awesome. Amazing. I'm having a blast doing this podcast. I hope you guys are having a blast listening to it as well. As always, the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check out the YouTube page, the Go-To Pod, and subscribe, like, comment, watch the videos. I have my first camping video up there, my second camping video up there. Hopefully adding to that soon. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, go check that out. Also, 5-star rate and review any place you're listening in or watching this. I have a link for Buy Me a Coffee. All the donations go to keeping the lights on, so to speak, of the podcast. So thank you to everybody who has donated. Your support means the world. I look forward to keep putting the shows out. You keep listening. Have an awesome week. I will talk to you later.